in the film that hasn't come out yet, in the documentary that you've made most recently. It's funny that you talked about those 5 stages of being an actor. Who is David Harewood, being first and fifth, but you found yourself sitting in Harewood House in Yorkshire, which, as a former showbiz journalist, I know chiefly as where they film Emmerdale. But for you, it assumed an altogether more profound residence, because David Harewood, son of Barbadians, descendant of slaves, is David Harewood because of Harewood House.
It was, and I must have, I've been there before, so it's, you know, I've sort of done that. I've done that with you once before on another documentary, but it had huge significance for me this time, because Black Lives Matter was literally just happening. George Floyd literally died the week before, so Black Lives Matter was raw and real and sort of now. And I found myself sitting in a car, sort of arriving on the Harewood estate, and sort of seeing the name Harewood everywhere, and thinking, my God, this is, you know, it was very odd. I didn't sleep the whole night. No. I didn't sleep the whole night. I don't know why. And I was anxious, even though I'd met him before, because I had all this stuff in me that I thought I want to talk about, and, you know, slavery and stuff, and I mean, he's actually a very pleasant man, you know. David Lascelles. He's you know, there's nothing personal between me and him. I'm not going to jump up and strangle him and sort of, you know, beat him up or anything. But, you know, he's a very pleasant man, and he is the first incumbent Lord Harewood who's acknowledged where the money came from. He's the first one. So so he is trying as much as he can to you know, set up programs for inner city kids. He's trying to sort of change the name of you know, trying to decolonize the history of the house. So there's far more books in the sort of on-site library about slavery and where the money came from, which weren't there before. So he is at least trying to acknowledge it and trying to be open. And I think he did tell me that several other, you know, estates were coming to him asking him how he's doing it, because everybody acknowledges that there's a problem here. You know, all of our stately homes were built on the proceeds of slavery. So how do we navigate that? And sort of, so, you know, people are coming to him to sort of asking him for his help. So I found him, you know, it was a very strange meeting. Yeah, you know, I remember at the end of it, he sort of showed me into a room full of, you know what it's like. You go in those rooms and it's full of gold leaf and
literally
grandiosity of these people standing in fine clothes in the middle of the countryside, these lords of West Yorkshire. And I know for a fact it wasn't exactly the, you know, people went out there to make money. Sure. And, you know, a lot of people went out there with nothing and became through their brutality, became extremely wealthy. So the idea that there were these fine lords and ladies was almost like a nonsense. And so I went into this room at the end of my meeting with him, and I was filmed. And for the first time, I had this reaction where I stood there and thought, all this means nothing. All this gold and leaf and posh stuff and gold cutlery and the chairs and the windows and all this finery. There's not one picture of a black person in the house, not one. It's almost like we're invisible. All this money has been built on the back of these people who are invisible.